Dill. Hey everybody, very good morning and welcome back to the Spitting Fire podcast, talking about life, leadership, and great topics. I'm here with the boss man, Pastor Dill. Jahnig, how are you?
Hello 2023 Dubsy.
Yes, so good, man. Ready to go. 2023, let's go.
Let's go.
And ready to move this year into everything that God has for us. And excited for the year ahead. Great to be back on the podcast. Thanks for having me.
I like how you say that. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I was invited, but it's my pleasure, bro.
Yeah, but it's not the Jahnig podcast.
It's not the Jahnig podcast. This is for Jesus.
This is for God and for the people out there, just to help people
Exactly.
with a bunch of stuff happening in life, because there is way more unhelpful content out there than helpful stuff. So here we talk about a whole bunch of leadership stuff. We talk about what's happening in the life of church, and we get excited about what's to come in the future. And it's been an amazing kickoff to the year so far.
It has.
You had fun?
I have. The first time I've actually come back to church on the first weekend of church.
Yes.
Normally my wife and our family take an extra week off and kind of just calibrate vision. But this year I felt to kick it off. I felt to like start strong, and I've loved it, bro.
It's been so good.
Yeah, I feel like there's momentum. We knew coming out of last year there'd be fresh momentum.
Yeah.
But it's pretty sweet to be in the room on the first Sunday of the year and the room's full, you know?
Yes.
Like that's a good start. So
Absolutely.
church has been packed out. It's been amazing.
Church has been good, and schools only went back this week, so it's been amazing to see people backfiring, ready
Yeah.
to go, church full, excited. Faithful would be a great word to...
I think that's what it is. And I love the fact that we're jumping in to talk about what this could look like for our church this year. But it feels like everyone has faith for a year that looks different to the last. I liked how you said it earlier. You were like, or last year you said, this year has been summarized by chaos. 2022, 23 will be confidence.
Correct.
And it feels like you spoke that into being, because it feels like people have arrived. Clarity is still coming, but the confidence is in the room. We want this year to count.
Brilliant. And just to say, like, chaos and confidence, same urgency.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people to drop off and go like, right, we're going to walk in confidently. There must be a little bit of urgency, a bit of chaos to the year as well.
Yeah, I like it. Also, it's like there's humility in it. Like we always talk about being humble.
Yeah.
Like our confidence is not because we know what to do. We're still kind of working that out, right?
Yeah.
But it's because we know who we are. We know what God's put in our lives. And there's just a fresh element of like, man, let's just show up well this year. So
Brilliant.
there's urgency in that.
No, we're excited for the year ahead. And like you were saying, great to have you back kicking off the year. I feel like you've arrived with fresh and with the game face for 2023.
Absolutely.
And we've just been labeling a year to rebuild. I think COVID's trying to span in the works for a lot of people. More and more conversations have people being hurt by the COVID pandemic. And also last year just found it really tough. So the chaos is not just frantic. It was also, I believe, the devil's trying to wreak havoc on finance, on family, on marriage, and a whole bunch of things. And this year we're going to recalibrate. We're going to move forward. And we could not have had a better topic or theme or preaching series to kick off the year in 2023 than the Infinite Game.
Yeah, that's been fun. I mean, the book itself, Simon Sinek wrote.
Yep.
A couple of years, 4 years ago, I read the book. Opening line was, what if you lived life like there was no finish line? And as I read, I'm like, this is church talk, man.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if you knew it or not, but like, this is God talk. And so,
Brilliant.
it's been great to kick off the year. Slightly different take to set your goals, set the trajectory, whatever. And this is more a perspective, like how you're going to live, you know?
Yeah, and I suppose goals and objectives and all those things are good.
Great.
But also just to understand that you can't win at some things. I mean, there's many things we can win at in life, and there's many things that we feel like we're winning at life.
I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
The feeling of winning is a good thing.
Yes.
Because you want to feel like you're adding value, like you're getting by in your marriage, you're making progress in your parenting, whatever. But you can't win parenting.
No.
It's not a trophy at the end of the day.
Definitely not.
Exactly. And even business, like people are like, man, you can win at business. You can build a great business. You can make new profits, whatever it is. You can't win business. There's no trophy for you when you're gone. Your business goes, another one starts. Like that's life, right?
I love the question you asked. Who sets the benchmark?
Yeah.
Well, who votes for what that looks like, what a win looks like in business, in parenting, in family,
Absolutely.
in raising kids, in parenting, whatever the case may be. But there's actually no marker for that. So you can't actually win. You can feel like winning it in life.
Yes.
Without comparing to someone else.
Yeah, totally. I think winning at life is a good feeling. Like I want to make my life count.
Correct.
But you can't win life.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
no trophy for
there's
life.
no trophy at the end of that.
But you can do well. And I think that's the whole challenge of Simon's book. What if you live like there's no finish line? Like what if you played the game so well, you were winning at it, but there was no end line to it?
Yeah.
You were just always winning at it.
Brilliant.
So there's no like final moment where you're like, hey, today you won, tomorrow you lost. Because that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
We're up today, we're down tomorrow. And then we get frustrated and we just check out. Like I'm out. And that's the whole point. Stay in the game, bro.
Brilliant. Good games, bad games, playing long game.
Exactly.
So
The long game.
The long game. So we're in for a win. And I love that in with regards to faith as well, because you can't win at Christianity. I mean, there's no finish line.
And I think that's the big thing. We're at church, right?
Yeah.
Like we're challenging a life of faith.
Yes.
And I think that's what happens to people. They feel like they're having a bad day, and they're like, I can't just do this church thing.
Yeah.
As if it's like a thing you do, not a person you become,
Brilliant.
And so I think that's the whole challenge. The invitation is to get in the game, learn to play it in your, like there's nothing better than a sportsman playing it to his ability.
Yes.
Or her ability. And I think sometimes they start to tweak people's games, or coaches that don't do it well, tweak people's games to what they want from them, not what's already in them.
Brilliant.
And I think that's the goal here. The infinite game is what's in you. Play it well. Show up well. So, yeah.
I love that sporting analogy because you get some players that are played out of position in games, whether you're playing rugby, cricket, soccer, netball, whatever it might be, and they never perform to their optimum ability because they've been playing out of position.
And how often do we sit as spectators watching it, intuitively knowing, shame, man.
Just put him in at 12.
Exactly.
Just put him in at 12.
Exactly. So that's the thing. And I think God's kind of talking down to his church all the time, or to his people on the planet, going like, just put them in education. Like they're born for it. Like stop telling them they're born for something. So yeah, the infinite game, I guess, on and on. It's like living with no finish line. Figuring out the role you play in this game, or this war, as we like to speak about it, and just getting on with it.
The person with less ability in the right position is more effective than a better player in the wrong position.
You should say that again.
I don't know if I can.
Try.
I'll give it a go.
Try. Here we go, guys.
The person with less ability in the right position is better than the best person in the wrong position.
I love that. I love that. The world promotes what it thinks to be the best.
Yeah.
But actually, when you just show up in who you are and God puts you in place, you could look like you have less ability. I like that.
And sometimes we do that to ourselves. We're going, well, I'm going to rather do that because I see a better result in that person. I've seen some business guys traveling the world doing business that no one else can do, yet they've all tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Exactly.
So good. All right, let's jump into some of the messages you've preached over the last couple of weeks. The first one, make it your mission.
Yeah, personal favorite.
I actually loved that message. It was so good. There was a heap of stuff that went on in there. 3 standouts for me, though. Do the best with what God's given us. Yeah. So we all have present yourself with God, basically. We got to present yourself with Him. Do the best with what He's given us.
Yeah.
So He's given us a gift, that talent, that position to play.
A boat.
And then stay in the game.
Yeah. I love we looked at Luke 5 when Jesus uses Peter's boat to preach.
Yeah.
And Peter had been using his boat to catch fish his whole life, which is to pay for things. And Jesus shows up for the first time. Peter's like, what's going on here? And Jesus is like, could I use your boat? And Peter's thinking, yeah, sure. Fishing's not very great, but give it a go.
Yeah.
And Jesus pushes it off slightly and doesn't fish.
Yeah.
He speaks to people. And it's Peter, for the first time, think about that. For the first time, Peter sees his vehicle being used for a totally different purpose.
Brilliant.
So we just challenge the church to see your boat as your mission, your marriage as a mission, your parenting as a mission. Like, let your world of parenting not be your competition. It's not the game, you're not going to win it. So use it as a mission. Be a blessing to your kids, and when there are other kids in your home, leverage the space that you have as a people to be a blessing to others' kids.
So good.
So just many mission fields that we have in our lives. Yeah.
And that's one thing we try to build as leaders, as pastors, as friends, is actually to speak life into our friends' kids.
Yeah,
into every kid that walks through the building.
Yeah.
So yes, your kids are a priority because they belong to you and you're responsible for them. But the reality is, like, it doesn't take much to speak life into the kid next door.
I agree, bro. Like I keep saying to people, don't just pick up a friend's kids, like build them up,
Yeah.
Like, hey, can I help you? I'll pick your kids up from school. Good step one. But when you do pick them up, build them up.
Yeah, speak life.
Yeah, speak life. Champion the God-breathed life.
Brilliant.
In the children around us. And that's using your parenting privilege, which is I have a kid at school.
Yeah.
I have a boat.
Yeah.
The goal is for the kid to get educated.
Yeah.
Actually, no. The goal is for me to leverage every relationship I have in their education journey to be a blessing to those children.
So good. And sometimes your car on a school lift home is your boat.
Absolutely.
Hate to confuse the issue here, but hey, sometimes your car can be your boat. You never know. Anyway, I love the idea that they
can't swim.
No, can't. But you got a boat. Yeah. Don't take your car into any water, please, unless it's 4x4 with a snorkel. Then you're swimming. Anyway, but I loved what you brought into that message. There was a thought around there were boat options on the beach. Jesus has options, and yet He often chooses your boat.
Yeah.
So He'll get in your boat. He'll make a difference, and your boat's not for you; it's for others.
Yeah.
Right. So when the catch was too big, another boat got filled.
So cool.
I love that thought.
Yeah. Also, I think He shows up on the shore. We don't know if He looked at the other boat option. We don't get told that.
Yeah.
We just get told He asked Peter.
Yeah.
We don't know if He tried the other and the other one said no.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's like yes or no. I'm just saying like it's interesting how there were two boats. He chose one, and then both got blessed.
Yeah.
So it's more an invitation to people to realize, like, God's got options. He doesn't need you, but He chooses you and
Correct.
He invites you in.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, when you say yes to that invitation, there's a blessing big enough for everyone around you.
Brilliant. And you hear stories like that all over the show. I know David's mighty men with the spoils going to
Yeah.
battle. Some stay behind. Everyone shares in the spoils.
Love that story.
God is a God of so much more.
Yeah.
And if we just allow Him into our boat, who knows what He'll do on the back end of an invitation into the story.
And all that to come back to the infinite game.
Correct.
Like the finite is this boat is for catching fish and paying bills.
Yep.
The infinite is no, this boat, this car, this family table,
Yeah.
this church venue,
Yeah.
this business. No, it's not just for catching fish. This is for feeding the people that God loves most, for being a blessing to people.
That is so good. Really, really love that. Where's your head at?
Basement Jacks, 1990. Shout out, one hit wonder. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. It's funny because it's just a title that makes you want to scream, where's your head at? Exactly.
Head
If you know the Basement Jacks, then
Yeah.
everyone right now is singing where's your head at?
Exactly.
So, but a great question leading into 2023. I know it's a cool title for a message, a great song, but the real gold in this statement is the question.
Yeah.
Where's your head at in 2023?
And we said that about church this year. We're going to ask great questions that provokes good thought.
Yeah.
So it puts people in this headspace of going like, that's such a good question. How am I processing that? So yeah, we're going to try and do a few more of those.
Yeah.
But I think it is a good question because I Googled where people's heads are at. Like I Googled what the leading thoughts are of 2023.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, most of them I haven't had, but they looked at a global people and they're things like, what's the meta universe? Where's it going to go? Are we going to Mars? And if we do, like, is Mars coming back to us? Like we laugh at that stuff, but that's what's plaguing people's imaginations. Like at the core of it all, I think people are asking, are we going to be okay?
Yeah.
Like, has the world changed? Are we going to make it?
Are we going to get through
So
this?
to ask where's your head at, if you're asking that question, like, are we going to make it? Are we going to get through this? Like, are our kids going to be okay?
Yeah.
Like, how does my marriage survive in a world that's changing the whole dynamic of marriage? Actually, guys, it's to change our mindsets. It's to put ourselves in an infinite game. That's finite stuff, you
So
know?
good.
That's temporary thought.
Yeah. You know what, just as you were talking, it got my mind spinning. I was having a few conversations around kids going back to school and what they might look like for the year, and some parents thinking about high school decisions and what that looks like, and have made good decisions, but then question their decisions and go, is this the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? And you know what it is? People looking around.
Yeah, absolutely. Comparison, right?
It's comparison. You're playing you're playing the finite game, not the infinite game.
Exactly.
You're looking around going, wow, that kid's gone there and that kid's gone there, and are we giving our kid the best opportunity?
Yeah.
I'm going, let's look at the character, the person, the gift that's on that person's life, and let's put them in the right position, whether it may be a top private school, maybe it's homeschool.
Absolutely, but
there's options for everyone.
and as friends, let's champion our friends.
Yeah, and champion their decisions.
Yeah, of
And
course.
Let's get behind them.
I think that's the key.
Yourself.
Exactly, and there's no right or wrong, right?
Correct.
Like, how do you know? There's no perfect school. There's no perfect job. There's no perfect church.
Brilliant.
No perfect marriage.
Yeah.
So I like how most people would say, like, the goal is progress, not perfection. Like,
Great.
make sure you're helping your kid progress into their future.
So good.
Yeah.
And I don't know who said it, but there were, it was a part of the Nobel Peace Prize, and we can maybe put the description in the comments box below. But he said three things. He said, do life with people that when they see you, their eyes light up.
That's awesome.
The top of this mountain's the bottom of the next.
That's awesome.
And
So good.
Oh, I've forgotten the third one. Is that even allowed? No, can't remember it. Anyway, we'll put it in the description below.
Let's just go with two.
Let's just go with
He
the
said
two.
two
Anyway, those
amazing
are great.
things. He said two incredible
those
things.
Those two things are fantastic. Anyway, well, the third one was obviously not as good as the first two. Anyway, I'll think about it, come back to it later. But there were three big tensions you spoke about in this last week. Where's your head at?
Yeah.
First one was building oneself over sacrificial living.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we use the example of, and Simon Sinek uses, you walk into a bookstore and there's this huge section on self-help, you know, like 10 steps to a better life, 5 ways to improve your marriage, you know, whatever it is. And there's no section on helping others.
Yeah.
And sort of makes this suggestion that the infinite game is built on helping others.
Sure.
Not on helping self. And so
Brilliant.
you really don't have anything worth living for unless you're living through you into others.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a challenge to people to consider every part of their worlds being a blessing to others. Like, when I'm building my business, how is it serving humanity?
So good.
When we're building church, how's it serving the world around us? And so it's been great for us as a church to start there, yeah.
Very, very good. Life's trends versus the transformational life.
Yeah. Remember Zach Fenter walked into the room. He's like, man, when people wear my clothing, the goal is not that everyone turns their head and speaks about, wow, this guy's really on trend. And can you believe this kind of stuff? He said, I don't want people to even stop doing what they're doing when my clothing enters a room.
Brilliant.
I want them to carry on, but be aware.
Yeah.
Confidence is in the room.
So good.
So I like that. I've never forgotten that because I feel like that's the God story. The infinite story is when I walk into a room, whether it's business or marriage or family, I don't want everyone to stop and cheer me on and talk about me being the best thing that ever happened to the room. And this guy really knows his stuff. I want them to be aware that like confidence is in the room. I like this thought. People feel safe when I'm around.
Brilliant.
I'm not saying they do. That's what I want. That's the challenge is to go trends and transformation, like a transformed life. When you're giving it to God, you walk into a room, people know they're secure in themselves. They're confident.
Very good.
They're safe to be around.
That's so good. I love that idea of confidence, and I think a God confidence that comes when you settled and you're doing what God has called you to do. There's a confidence in your spirit that shifts rooms.
Absolutely. We're turning 40 this year, Dubsy.
We are.
Like we're finding our confidence, bro.
I know you would never believe it.
You wouldn't have said more than 26. I get it.
You would never believe it.
I get it.
But we're heading towards 40. And you know what? I'm excited.
Tell me.
There's always. I'm convinced everyone hits 40 and has midlife crisis. I'm convinced.
Some version of it.
Yeah, there's some version of it. I think some people just deal with it better than others, if I'm to call a spade. And I don't think there's right or wrong. I think sometimes oaks freak out. Sometimes guys walk into it with confidence.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff. But what I do, there's a tweak at 40 that goes...
It's a big transition, man.
Massive transition. It's also generational. Like 40 years is considered a generation. So we are now Baileys.
We are Baileys.
We're old.
Bailey Brigade, we are in.
100%. But there's 20 to 30 good years left in us, which we're going to keep charging. And we've got so much to offer those below us. So
yeah.
I'm going to try going to 40 with that mentality, going like, wow, I've got 20 good, solid years left. And then I'm going to retire and live well. And then...
Amen to that.
Amen. And I've got so much to offer those guys below me that may or may not need my help. But
also, this is so important for what we're saying around trends.
Yep.
Because I think when you're in your younger years, you do follow fleeting trends. You know, 100%. You jump on every trend because you compare yourself. You want to be in that world that you see, and so you follow the trend to try and get what they got. And trends are short-lived. They come and they go.
Correct.
For example, the chino was in the 90s. We lost it for 2 decades. It's back.
Chinos.
It's back.
The chinos are back. You're right.
My mate Pete Baines, he's been wearing them for 30 years. He lost his kind of influence, and now he's back in the mix.
Exactly right.
So trends come and go, but transformed lives just get stronger and stronger and stronger. And so I think it's important. Like Craig Rochelle said something so beautiful. He said, never overestimate yourself in the short term.
Brilliant.
But never underestimate what a lifetime of faithfulness could do.
So good.
So transformed lives are just about like faithfulness. Just be faithful to your season, you know.
You know how you're winning at religion is when you keep showing up in faith.
Keep showing up, bro.
And don't look around. It's not a competition. But you know that winning feeling when it's like, man, the chips are down. Everything's against me. But I know that God is by my side.
Yeah. And I think this frustrates the devil.
Yeah.
Like I said this on the weekend. Like if you want to frustrate the devil, live sacrificially.
Brilliant.
If you want to frustrate the devil, live collaboratively. If you want to frustrate the devil, live transformed lives.
So good.
If you want to let him feel like he's got the upper hand, follow a trend.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like you're chasing it forever.
So good. Competition versus collaboration. I suppose that's what you're talking about right now.
That's the big one.
That is the big one.
Everyone spoke about that. In fact, a guy came up to me, leads a business, tech business, global business, multinational global business. And he said, today was epic. I said, why? He said, because I got something for my team meeting tomorrow. I said, that's cool, man. Tell me what you mean by that. He said, when you spoke about collaboration and competition, I realized that is a secret to the Christian life that could bless all of life.
So good.
So tomorrow when I speak to my 400 plus employees across the globe via Zoom, I'm going to talk to them about being a better collaborative community.
So good.
So it's just such a cool way of going like, that's the infinite. You're building an infinite,
brilliant,
headspace to your business.
I'm not the best creative. I'm the collaborative creative.
Exactly.
Who's winning at creativity? No one really knows.
Yeah.
But if we collaborate, it's unimaginable what we can accomplish if we don't care who takes the credit.
Exactly.
So pumped. Anyway,
cheers to the.
Cheers.
I know where you're going.
Cheers. We can't stop right there. We got one more little point to get on with. Anyway,
I know where he's going with this.
You mentioned cheating in examinations in your message. And I just wanted to know if it's okay to do so. No, I don't want to know if it's okay to do so. I don't think that was your point. I think there was an underlying.
Okay to cheat.
It's not okay to cheat, but there was an underlying message in your message on underlying point in your message on Sunday, which was so good actually that I'm not really sure.
Yeah, look, I said it tongue in cheek, right?
Yes,
I told the story of a friend and I chatting tongue in cheek, and he asked the question like, so the two kids in a test or an exam room, and the one kid looks at the other kid's papers. Is he cheating or is he clever?
Yeah.
Anyway, and I lost the church on the weekend. People went silent. Like you said, the goal isn't to clarify that that's okay.
Yeah.
But track with me for a moment. Here's what happens. You're sitting in this test, right? And you're staring at this exam paper. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And you get to a problem or a question in the paper, and you've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And you freeze. You go cold. You start getting this awkward feeling of like, I can't do this.
Yep.
You look up, you look around, you consider all the options, you look at the lecturer, they're staring at you like you've done something wrong, and you look back down and you are crippled with fear for the next, I don't know how long, fill in the blank of your life, but you're crippled by this problem you've never seen before.
Yep.
And track with me now, you take that out of the exam room into life.
Yeah.
And we start looking at the life and marriage as a test. Who's watching me? Am I getting it right? Am I getting it wrong? Like, am I succeeding? And you face this problem in your marriage that you've never seen before.
Sure.
And you freeze. And you get that cold feeling like, I'm going to fail. This is never going to work for me. My marriage is going to end. She's never going to come back. This isn't going to do its thing.
Sure.
And you get this cold feeling and you look around and it feels like the world's eyes are on you and they're checking on you. Don't cheat now.
Yeah.
Don't make a mistake now. Don't ruin this whole test in life, you know? And so really my example was to suggest one thing, like what do you do or where do you go when you know you need help?
Sure. Great
like
question.
let's break the mindset that life is a test.
Yeah.
God's not testing us. God's approved of us in Jesus Christ. He's taking care of everything we could never do. And so he's not testing us, he's transforming us. And so I was just kind of encouraging the people around there, like, we need each other, man. Like, if your marriage is taking strain, we're not all staring at you thinking, like, don't look around now. You've only got yourself on this one.
Yep.
Look around, lift your head up and ask for help. Like, it's
good.
not the same deal, you know?
Yep.
So that was the context. I hope it helps. Basically, ask for help.
So good.
Collaborate.
And competition never asks for help.
Exactly.
Collaboration asks for help.
Exactly. And there's this unwritten rule or unwritten thought in marriage and parenting. Parenting's the same.
Yeah.
Like, not sure what to do with my kid. He's a teenager. He's going through some stuff. She's a teenager. She's made some decisions. I don't like what they're doing, but I don't want anyone to know what they're doing.
Yep.
Newsflash, everyone knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
But you're not lifting your head and asking for help because you're frozen by a problem you've never seen.
So good.
Like, God's going, man, this is not what it should be. It's not a competition. This is a collaboration. We need each other. That's what the church is for. Ask for prayer, seek counsel, open the word. Let's go.
The infinite game.
Let's go, Dubsy.
It's been a great start to the year and excited to play the infinite game, not only through 23, but for the rest of my life. I think it's something that's been thought-provoked. I think we default to finite and not infinite.
Yeah.
And it's been a solid reminder to just go like, no, hang on a second. Yeah, we're not in competition.
Exactly. Like, your win is my win, right? 100%. So when you're winning, I'm stoked. Even if it feels like I'm not at the best.
No.
Dubsy's winning. Let's get behind that win because it feels good when humanity wins. You know?
So good. And a challenge to everyone out there, celebrate someone else winning even when you're not.
Good advice.
Because I think sometimes it's easy to play the tall poppy syndrome and cut people down rather than getting behind them when they're winning.
Yeah.
And watch what God would do, because maybe that's a boat.
I love that.
And everyone else gets the spoils and the blessing when you celebrate everyone else's wins.
Let's do it, man.
It's been a great chat.
Thanks, Dubsy.
Excited for the next couple of weeks as we open up some more topics and chat around some certain things this year. Really going to put the Spitting Fire podcast back on the map this year with some incredible content regularly. So thanks so much for having me. It's been a great chat.
And again, it's a pleasure.
But if you love this chat, you can check out some more of these conversations up over here. And if you haven't done so yet, you can like and subscribe over here. It's been an amazing chat. We'll catch you soon. Ciao, ciao.